everyone, Jason here from Off the Beaten Path and picking up where we left off at the campsite at Howitville on the banks of the Crooked River. Nice cruisy start to the day, and I was on this trip trying out my minimalist camping setup, which is just the stretcher with a sleeping bag under the awning to keep the light rain off. Dan's got his swag there with his Hexa tarp over the top. My setup worked fine. It's just the flies wake you up in the morning because you've got nothing to, no mesh around you to stop that. So apart from that, it was fine. So yeah, jumped into cars after a quick breakfast and we're heading off towards Talbotville. And as happens sometimes in the morning, first thing in the morning I've jumped in the car and I haven't really thought about it and make a pretty crucial mistake straight off the bat here, which you're about to see. How to get a water crossing wrong. So this crossing's not as deep as some of the ones we did yesterday. And as you can see, I've basically stopped there in the middle. And truth be told, I did stop. Stalled the car is what happened. Why did it stall? Because I had it in high range. This is the onboard camera. And you've just heard me turn the key and get it started again. So very, very lucky to be able to start the car again in the river.
That was lucky.
That could have been a lot.
No, I'm in high range, and second gear high range, it just stalled.
So yeah, low range for river crossings.
Whereas obviously yesterday we were in low range for all the crossings.
And yeah, I hadn't thought about the fact that tail end of yesterday was a pretty cruisy drive, so I'd changed back up to high range. Yeah, classic case of just jumping in the car and starting to drive without thinking about it too much. Dodged another bullet there though. Luke is coming across now. So as you can see, you know, from his camera angle, it's not coming up to the bonnet with the bow wave like some of the crossings did yesterday.
Sorry mate, I didn't realise you wanted the video.
And Paul's coming across now in his FJ. So yeah, look, it's a reasonably dead crossing, sort of halfway up the front of the car, but certainly not as deep as yesterday. Good wide crossing. But as long as you've got your car on the right gear, nothing to be too concerned about. And Dan lining up the INEMU, the Prado. Got pushed a little bit to the side there with the current. Always a risk in these bigger river crossings, but and Dan was just saying, yeah, lucky he went into low range. Well, maybe my reminder helped prompt him. So yeah, sorry about the foggy windscreen. Unfortunately, as you guys know, forgot my cameras on this trip, so filming basically everything off the phone.
Probably should ask where we're going.
Heading to Talbotville first up.
Doing Crooked River, and then we'll go across. Don't remember the name, but yeah, Crooked River. That'll take a little bit.
So
Copy that.
yeah.
So continuing left here towards Talbotville.
So we're back on the Crooked River track now, having just crossed the Crooked River from Howitville Campground. You guys would have seen a fair bit of footage. I've done the Crooked River track, at least this section of it,
So
many times.
We're doing Crooked River. Then we're doing Bull Town Spur. Yeah, and then we'll reassess.
So Luca and I had a reasonably loose plan for today, and the other guys kind of just adopted our plan without actually knowing what it was. So there's trust for you. Always a scenic drive along Crooked River track, and it's not too far from here to Talbotville, and then from Talbotville we're going to be doing the northern section of Crooked River, which for me is the first time I've ever done that. A couple of crossings before we get there, so this is our next crossing on the Crooked River. And as I said, these crossings aren't as deep as yesterday's crossings. So yeah, I think I was going to pull over and maybe film the guys coming across that river crossing, but everybody's followed me pretty quickly, so just push on to the next one.
That's another good little crossing though, that one.
Yeah, they've all been good.
As well.
Sorry Dan, I spoke over the top of you.
So yeah, met some traffic coming the other way. Those guys just pulled straight over for us and made it look like a highway. Tons of room to get around them.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're all pulled over waiting for us to pass, guys, so keep coming.
Amazing, every time you run into somebody coming on another way on the track, you always seem to find a way to get past them.
More cows. I don't know what you said, but they're all looking at me. They heard you.
Getting reasonably close now to Talbotville. I think you can probably see some.
I think we're just about at the Talbotville crossing now.
See some campers there through the trees over on the Talbotville side.
Do we cross here though to keep going on Crooked River, Luca, or do we go straight ahead on a different track?
No, you pretty sure you crossed it. I'll have a look.
Yeah, no, that's the direction the sign seems to be pointing. Yeah, there is nowhere else to go. There's Brewery Creek Road or there's a cross. So yeah, the track must be out the other end. As I said, I've never done it. So yeah, little crossing here at Talbotville's up more than usual, that's for sure.
So yeah, this crossing here is usually quite small and usually fairly shallow. Definitely up more than I've seen it. Still not real deep.
Do you want me to come across?
Yeah, just keep coming, mate. That's all good. Thanks.
Always the way Luca was waiting there to see if I was going to jump out and try and film the guys coming across, but we'll save that for...
The log there is not going to have too many issues with water crossings, I don't think.
Some of the crossings coming up.
No, that's a big rig, isn't it?
And there's a Unimog just out of frame there on the right hand side as we came across into Talbotville.
Talbotville's not as busy as I thought it might have been.
No. That log, what is it, 250,000? 300?
Oh, I think it's, in that ballpark, yeah.
So McMillan's Road just on the right hand side there, and the northern section of Crooked River here straight ahead.
So yeah, carrying on Crooked River track.
Roger.
So
There's just a couple of kids on the track, so we're just going to wait for them.
there was a family, as you can see, camped right here. So just wait until the kids
if you got a caravan,
cleared the track.
which road is that just gets here?
McMillan's most people come in on.
You'll see it just past the cemetery. That's the easiest way in. That goes
Thanks.
all the way to Dargo.
Good, yourself?
Good luck. Dargo, that's the easiest. Oh yeah. Ozcan's representing here.
So yeah, first of 24 crossings on this section of the Crooked River track. So far more crossings on the northern section than the southern section. A little deeper than
You can hang on, Luke, or I'll film you guys come across.
than the Talbotville crossing down the other end, same river, but yeah, just a little bit deeper up this end. Just sort of getting close to Lucas Bonnet with the bow wave there. And Paul and Dan coming along, close behind. Paul just keeping it nice and smooth and steady as he always does.
Nicely done.
And yeah, good bow wave there from down in the Prado.
Yeah. Anyone would think we're up at the Cape.
So yeah, a few guys are up on the back there watching us do this first crossing, so a little bit of a lumpy exit here. And yeah, from there, first of many, first of 24 crossings.
Yeah, it's a reasonably deep little crossing, that one, eh?
And it was a nice crossing. That was a beautiful crossing.
A little bit of a taste of the Cape, having an audience there.
Yeah, the kids would be loving it, wouldn't they?
A bit of water around, as you can see. And this whole track was pretty lumpy. Luckily, all these bog holes, if you can call them that, all had a pretty firm base, and yeah, we're not too far in, and lo and behold, we're here at the
This
next
is
crossing.
annoying, there's a down branch in the middle of the track, in the water.
So just straight ahead there.
I think I'm just going to go around it.
Yeah, just keep coming, guys. I won't stop and film this one.
So again, nice steady crossing, that one. And yeah, another bog hole on this side of the track as well, with some decent ruts there, as you can see.
Hello, sunshine.
Clearly gets soft and wet in here.
I'm going to go left.
So yeah, didn't feel like tackling that bog hole there on the right, and that sound you just heard was Luca engaging his lockers, or at least one of them. If you've got the magic buttons, why not use them? And that's possibly
Wise choice.
the second one. So yeah, no need to risk driving that deeper
Pretty
section of the
hard
bog
back. There's a
hole.
bit of a step up at the end there. I'm worried about it slipping sideways, but it didn't.
Well, I don't like the first entrance here, so I'm going to go and look at the second one.
Yeah, no, this one's rutted out.
So these tracks aren't seasonally closed in winter, so you can get down in here, and that's no doubt part of the reason the track's in the condition that it is.
Yeah, this is a lot better.
So yeah, a lot better access here on this entrance rather than that other one that you just saw. Makes the crossing a little longer. As you're further down, you need to turn around and head back, and as you can see, they're up over the bonnet, mostly because of the flow.
I reckon the first one's maybe a shallower crossing, but yeah, that entrance would be deadly.
Yes. Yeah, that was going against the current. It actually makes everything look deeper.
Yeah, well, I had the bow wave up over the bonnet.
There's the bottom end of Basalt Knob South.
That one is on the list, but not for today, unfortunately.
Start doesn't look that bad.
No, the steepy beach is a little bit further on, but this part of it's okay. It's a little bit further. Not far, but a little bit further.
And lo and behold,
What a surprise, we've got another crossing.
another river crossing. So yeah, if you love river crossings, great track to come and do.
Something like that. Coming up.
Yeah, no, it's crack-a-lackin' drive.
So yeah, straight into the next crossing. And yeah, you can still see a decent amount of flow there.
It's lovely doing it because it's the river's quite high.
Was a cracking drive along here. This is a section of track that had been on my list to do for a long time, but typically, you know, when I was coming into Talbotville, we'd be coming down Sarah Spur or something, and we're usually heading south, and often just
It's a little fast one, this one, but it doesn't look that deep.
didn't have the time to come and do this. So glad we fitted it in on
Oh,
this
it's got
trip.
a bit of flow in it. The narrower they are with the amount of water, it's nice.
And yeah, quite a bit of flow on that one, as you can see, hit the car. Door seals on the 70 held up surprisingly well. they all had a really nice firm bottom, so there's nothing difficult about driving those. And every time you get to a new crossing, it's always interesting. You can see this entrance is a little rockier and reasonably steep. And you're straight into the river, certainly at the level that the river's at the moment. You can see all that white water around the car, just how much it's flowing. Certainly in this section, it's not far at all between those river crossings. So again, another steep approach. Nice clean exit on the far side though. Another one where you are driving against the current downstream. So you're getting that bow wave up on it, just with the pressure of the water. Same for Luca and his patrol there. Puddle this side. So yeah, it was a really interesting drive, this track. And look, in the conditions we drove it, not too difficult. I think some of these bog holes could be a lot softer and a lot more challenging. In
You guys travelling all good back there, pulling down?
Yep, perfect. Yep, thank you.
But you know, although there's a bit of water sitting in them, they had very firm bases. And while the river level
This next crossing is a bit of an interesting entrance.
was up, yeah, it's a bit of a challenging entrance, that one. Just from behind here with
Next crossing is a bit of an interesting entrance.
Luca filming, watch the car drop down. Pretty steep, steep little entrance there,
Hold on if you can, Luca, I might film you guys come across that one.
and a little bit off camber. And reasonably
Hold on if you can, Luca. I might film you guys come across that one.
Roger.
reasonably deep little crossing there. You can see where the main flow is not far after you enter. Fairly short and direct crossing though. Paul's just dropped the FJ in. And yeah, nice and steady on the throttle as he always is. And Dan bringing the iron Indy down. Wet brakes. And he's into the crossing.
There's the water level, just above the door handle, level with the passenger door handle.
So yeah, don't know that that's from the last crossing, that's just where the water's gotten to on a couple of those crossings. Probably more so the one driving up the river with the current pushing up against the car. And it's always fun driving tracks for the first time because you really have no idea of what you're going to find along the track. I had heard about this section of Crooked River, and certainly seen Krusty's video. Krusty from a guy on his trip, he drove this, well, it's probably 12-18 months ago now. So had you know, some idea of what to expect.
Watch that big stick on the left as you come into this entrance.
Roger, stick on the left, guys.
So primarily expecting lots of river crossings, and it does not disappoint. A little short and sharp one there. Nice easy exit though. But again, as soon as you sort of finish the exit, you drop it into a bit of a bog hole. See there, Luca coming across. Not quite, are we? Yep, no we are. We're at the...
There's more crossings in this northern part of Crooked River than the southern part.
Oh yeah, mate, this is known to have heap. I thought you'd done this track before, but this is known to have nothing but river crossings, and that's why it's so popular.
Yeah, no, I've never done it. I've only done Crooked River from like Kingswell Bridge to Talbotville previously many times, but never this section.
Okay, oh, that's interesting. I sort of didn't know that. You might have mentioned, but I didn't hear you. But, oh yeah, no, this is known for its river crossings. Nothing like what we've done earlier there in the southern section.
And that's why I wasn't sure where I was going when we were coming into Talbotville.
Yeah, Roger. Oh, this is good. This is a blast.
What's the name of this one again? Is this part of Crooked River?
Yeah, this is called Crooked River Track, and it's renowned to, you know, have heaps of river crossings, so that's why people like to do it. It sort of loops up to, you know, up to, what is it, to the top there, and then you come back down towards, you know, Macmillan's Road. We can loop around and go back down to Talbotville. So, yeah, it's a great track.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I've only done Crooked River when I met Jason, Trevor with Paul. I haven't done this stretch either.
So yeah, what you can do is base yourself at Talbotville, do this northern section of Crooked River, and then head up Bull Town Spur, which we'll be doing, but that'll be in the next video after this one. And then take Macmillan's Road back down to Talbotville. Makes for a great little day trip for a few hours, and yeah, easy loop back around to your base camp there at Talbotville.
So this track here in the heyday, it used to feed Bull Town. The other town's called Howitville. Yeah, little townships that would be passing through there, but all that's there now is a little sign, or there used to be a little sign marking where the town site was. And that's all that's left.
And as you can see there on the sign, the New Good Hope
There's a
Mine.
sign there to the New Good Hope Mine. Is that one you can walk in, Luca?
No, the one I'm talking about is, I don't know anything about this one. The one I'm talking about is in Grand.
Yeah. Oh, I reckon. I mean, how long is it going to be before we're here again? Who knows? So it shouldn't be too far, I don't think.
So yeah, we're just debating
Roger.
whether we go and check this out or whether we stay the course. It is Sunday and everybody's got to get home today. But one of those things, if you don't check these things out while you're on the track, it could be a while before you get back and have an opportunity another time to do it. So we did decide to drive up and check it out. Track up was in reasonably good condition. The last section was a little bit lumpy, and this car park area here was incredibly off camber. Track does continue, but there's a sign there saying don't drive up here because you can't turn around, so clearly it's intended that you park here.
It says someone's written on text that says don't drive dead end. I can't read the road, and you can't reverse or something.
Right.
So there wasn't
Perfect little car park there, Paul.
there wasn't any information to indicate how far this walk was, whether it was
Well,
The rest of the car park.
whether it was a 10-minute
No.
walk, a half-hour walk,
I'm thinking maybe we pass on this
or
one.
an hour-long hike. There was no information to sort of indicate that. You know, given that a few of the guys were already concerned about, you know, what time we're going to finish the tracks today and getting home, starting a hike that we really had no idea how long it was, we decided that today is not the day. So yeah, back down to the track where we turned off and into the next river
This
crossing,
one, the exit's upstream.
continuing on.
I'll wait for Dan.
So yeah, another one where you turn upstream.
I might come back and film you guys, so if you can wait, Luca, for me to come back, that'd be great.
No problem. Yeah, that's even with great, mate.
Yeah, the exit here is a bit interesting.
So yeah, a bit of a muddy, lumpy exit. A couple of good ruts there. And just struggled with traction there. Decided to take it slow just to check clearance. You never know with a solid axle vehicle with a
Didn't
diff
get up.
pumpkin in the middle what your clearance is going to be like. At least I don't. So clearance seemed reasonably okay, but just needed probably a little bit more bunty to pop it up over. A little bit of momentum, and yeah, we're up and over.
Bit of right boot, did it?
So look, coming across that crossing now. Always look deeper when you're driving upstream due to that current.
I'm going to say that's because I already graded it for him.
Yeah, so Luca runs 33, same size tyres as mine. He possibly had his lockers engaged, so I don't know. But yeah, certainly drove that exit nice and easily. More easily than me with the open diffs in the 76. And Paul coming along now in the FJ. He is also unlikely to have any problem. And Dan bringing the Prado through. Good bow wave out in front of him.
Look at that bow wave, will you?
Yeah.
There for the Prado, and just a little bit of momentum gets him up and over as well. always a bit disconcerting when you've just driven a river crossing and you're the first one across and you're looking at an exit like that. Certainly one of those times where you're glad to have a winch on the front of the vehicle in case you actually need it. So, a bit of a twisty section of track through here. Keeps the drive interesting, and lo and behold, we're heading down towards
Could be another interesting entrance, this one.
the river again.
Just hang 5, let me clear my windscreen.
So fairly enclosed by the bush.
The banana fuel ball.
Actually, it's not too bad, this entrance.
Hopefully not. That's fine.
And yeah, exits just straight across there.
Yeah, a lot shallower than the other crossings, that one. Fast flowing though.
Keep going.
So yeah, not as deep as some of the others, and a few puddles here again on the exit. Bit of a taste of what this track might be like if you tackle it in winter. I think it'd be soft and wet when you're and fairly muddy when you're out of the crossings.
Oh look, another river crossing.
So again, this entrance is pretty
Oh
good.
yes, we're not done. We're probably halfway through these river crossings.
And lo and behold, it's another one where we're driving upstream. So personally, this is the direction I prefer to drive this section of track in, where these crossings where you're driving down the river, you're driving against the current, rather than having it pushing against the back of your vehicle. Yeah, definitely a great section of track to drive here, and one I'll be keeping in mind. This won't be the last video you see on the channel of this section of track, I suspect. I may not film every single river crossing in the future when I come back. This being the first time I've ever done this track, I have filmed every single river crossing for you guys on this one. To give you a real taste. It's made for a longish video, but given I just haven't covered this section of track before, felt that was worth doing. A little bit of a rockier exit here, but nothing too difficult. A little bit of a wombat hole forming there on the left.
Fun little exit on that one.
Beautiful exit.
Yeah, probably no challenge at all for those of the convoy that have lockers.
Oh, actually, I didn't use them on that one.
There you go. Neither did I.
You got a pretend switch, have you? Just to make yourself feel as part of the team, right?
Yeah, that's it. Little safety switch in here, yeah.
Oh, you're a funny man.
It's like, right, engage lockers. Now we're going to make it up.
And crossing on that note. So not immediately apparent from the camera angle, but this is an interesting crossing, this one, where you sort of drive across the river and then
There's some flow on that
down a
one.
side channel. And yeah, definitely a lot of flow there. As you can see, it hitting the front of Luca's car there. Very quickly into this shallow little side channel though.
Oh man, I just had like a bearded dragon run across the track in front of me, but my damn phone camera won't capture it.
Well, that's unusual. That's, yeah. I mean, not that like the sun. Probably a water drag.
Yeah, this one's deep, probably was.
Went deeper through this section, as you can see there. And another nice rocky exit.
That one was over my bonnet with the bow wave.
So keeping in mind too, I'm running the 76 still without a lift. It's at stock height. Running the 33s though.
We all good back there, Dan and Paul? Yeah, just got through that last crossing. Roger.
Alrighty, Luke and I are just lining up on the next one.
It's another one that's fairly enclosed by vegetation here. And getting some glimpses of that exit. So, yeah.
Nice rocky exit on this one.
You're committing on this one. You're into the flow and into the crossing, and you've got to get up this rock face on the other side. So try and choose your line from across the river, especially when you don't have blockers. So a bit clearer view from behind here. Steady flow, so you can see that pushing the car a little. And yeah, I've opted for that right-hand line as much as I sort of can. And it's done the job.
Is that my tow bar that hit Luca?
Yeah, that was your tow bar. Nothing to worry about. So, yeah, that was a great drive there, Jason. I'm surprised because that's a rock face in itself.
I'll come back and film you guys if you can hang on.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah, that's a nice front wheel lift there too on the left.
So yeah, always fun being the first one across when you've got an exit like that ahead of you, but 76 got up no problem, which was great. A little bit of a wheel lift there from Luca, as he's followed a
Nice drive.
similar line to what I've taken. Doesn't really do it justice from the top down angle, makes that climb look a lot shorter than what it actually is. Pulling the FJ up out of the river onto the rocks. And yeah, nice little wheel lift, and he's up and through.
And the FJ walks it. The mating call of a moose.
Those wet brakes.
Not surprised Dan's stopping and thinking about this one. It's an imposing exit
It is too when you got to
off the back of a fairly deep water
consider
crossing.
that you're hitting that
He's going to take the same line as Luca and
out
Paul.
of the crossing, yeah. Nicely done.
And the traction control's done its job. Nicely done. Just looking at the map, guys, I think we're about halfway along from Talbotville to Bull Town on this section of the Crooked River track.
So yeah, it's seems longer than what it is, but it's about
So plenty more crossings to come.
it's about 7 or 8 k's. This section of the Crooked River track.
In fact, I think the next one might be coming up right now.
And I hope you've been keeping track track of the number of the river crossings because I haven't, but there is 24 of them. A little bit
Steep entry.
A little bit lumpy coming down there, and that's the tow bar generally on the 76 that's hitting as I'm coming down those rock steps.
Steep entry.
It does sit very low there at the back. Wet brakes in Lucas GU as well.
Yeah, keep coming, guys.
And yeah, rocky but sort of fairly gentle exit really. Rocks do provide a good bit of traction.
Yeah, keep coming, guys.
A lot of the sections between the river crossings like this are very drivable, not particularly difficult at all, but you definitely got to be ready to tackle those crossings with the river where it's at the moment. Each of those is, you know, something you definitely want to be paying attention to. Nice rocky entrance and exit here, but pretty smooth, and just a straight across crossing. And you can see them flowing like that though, it is a little disconcerting. And probably just worth mentioning again, obviously in the 70 series the alternators are very low and they tend not to like moisture, but anyone who's been following the channel for a while will probably remember that I did replace the alternator on the 70 with a fully sealed unit, so much less concerned about getting water because it's a fully sealed alternator, so there's no opportunities for water or silt or mud or anything to get in. So I did that after the water track trip where I did have a few issues with the alternator, not surprisingly, hitting a few bog holes there in the 70.
Steady sort of exit that one,
And it's been a good thing.
Yeah, nice little climb out.
Anyone sick of river crossings yet? So a little bit of a rockier exit on this one.
Interesting in, interesting out.
You got this.
So just taking it slow and steady down the on-ramp. A little bit of a rock step to get up out of the river, and then the rest of this is pretty easy going.
Yeah, I'm out. Keep coming.
So yeah, as I've said, apologies for the footage on this particular series of videos, shooting with the phone through the windscreen, and didn't realise that smudge mark was on the windscreen, which was causing the footage to blur a little bit.
Another one just like the other one.
Wait on a sec, I want a video here.
Yeah, this has got a friggin' massive hole in it. Might need to go down and do some rock building.
So yeah, just got to look at that just as I nosed in there. And
About to tackle the gnarliest crossing yet. Gnarly because of the entrance. We've just been down doing some rock packing and rock building, track building. Lucas should have some good footage of this. As long as I hug left, I shouldn't end up in the hole and shouldn't end up with panel damage. So let's go.
so as we always say, this footage really
Get this show
doesn't
on the road, as the saying goes.
do it justice. Even after we did do the rock packing that you'll see,
So we're going to just crawl
there's
down.
a big hole on
First gear low
on
range.
the right hand side as we're heading down now. So when we change to Lucas' view, it's on the left. So fortunately the 70s aren't a particularly wide vehicle. So hugging that left hand bank, right hand from this perspective, but left hand when you're driving. And yeah, that's the big hole there, just to the left of that rock packing that we've done.
And the highway has done its job. Right into the water and across we go.
So that ended up being a pretty easy drive with that rock packing that we've done there. And being able to avoid that big hole was definitely a bonus. Exit's a lot smoother than the entrance. So you can see the rock packing sort of in the middle of the track, and then the big hole on the left.
So you can see our track building there in the middle.
Left-hand side.
Luke is going to take the right hand line, or left hand from this perspective.
And he's spanning that hole.
He's got a bit better departure angle than me though.
So he's basically spanned over the top of that
Nicely done.
large hole. And Paul's taking the same line.
Straight into the water. And Paul's coming straight down behind him.
Nicely done.
Nicely done. Does Dan know what he's in for?
So Dan had gotten a little bit behind us.
Paul, you want to let Dan know it's a little tricky? Let Dan know it's a little tricky. I don't know whether he knows. Let him know it's tricky, this line to take. I don't think... Oh, he knows. Oh, okay.
Yep, so Dan's opted for the same line that I took,
Okay, good.
hugging that bank on that right hand side from this perspective.
Jeez, that sounds like a bloody dragon.
That would feel gnarly. Falling into the hole with the rocks collapsing like that.
Sounds those brakes make.
You should rename it. Call it the Dragon.
And yeah, the water crossing part of this one is not where the challenge sits. So after that one, we're back on the track and following the river. Now we are almost to the end. This video we're going to stop when we get to the bottom of Bull Town Spur, near the old Bull Town site, and we'll pick that up in the next video.
Straight ahead. Makes no sense.
So yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
just on the left there's the track down to the river to the old Bull Town site, and we didn't head down there and check that out, or Stonewall camping area, purely and simply because we were a bit pushed for time. Everybody had to get home today. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video of the northern section of the Crooked River. It was an awesome track to drive. We had a lot of fun, and we'll be picking this up and starting Bull Town Spur, one of the steeper tracks in the high country, and I was really looking forward to driving this one. So
Oh, looks like there's another track up from
that's the
Stonewall
start of
just
Bull
here.
Town right there, guys. Like this video if you liked it, leave some comments down below. Always happy to respond to those,
Old
and we'll
disused
see you in
truck
the next
straight ahead
video.
through here.
As always, thanks for watching.